HO Talk Show. But I'm just giddy. I'm just elated right now, and I hope the people can feel the good energy because we are joined by a brother right about now that I've been scratching tooth and claw, as they say, to get up in this studio with me. And I'm just so delighted to have this good brother, my brother from none other than Reggie Leonard. He is the curator and he's an entrepreneur in different spaces. And we're going to talk a little bit about all that today that he has going on,
yes,
as a matter of fact. And I'm still trying to get my bearings here, Max.
You were trying not to come see us, or you've been busy?
No,
which one is
the latter? The latter,
okay.
for sure.
Yeah. Talk to him for a minute, Max.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, so why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah. You go ahead and do that
Sure.
while I get my stuff straight here.
Yeah, Reggie Leonard here. I've been in Charlottesville since 2015, so a little over 10 years.
Okay.
I came from Lynchburg, Virginia. I was there for about 8 years. Working at UVA brought me here.
Okay.
And so I wanted to live in Charlottesville because living in Lynchburg, my friends and I would just come up here in the cities. There was just more to do here. Not necessarily a bigger city geographically, but more things to do.
Okay.
And so I just kind of fell in love with Charlottesville. I liked the fact that there was kind of art, food, tech, mountains, all that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, I looked for a job at UVA to see if it would bring me here, and it did. So I came here to work in the Data Science Institute at the time. Now it's a School of Data Science. There were only a couple of people working there, so it was pretty early. People didn't know what I was talking about when I was saying I worked in data science, and now all the AI stuff makes sense to folks. And I'm originally from PG County up in Maryland, so went to Bowie State for my undergrad, so love HBCUs. That's where I came up. So, yeah, that's what brought me here.
Nice.
Yeah.
Tell us something you like about Charlottesville.
Yeah, I love the art. I love the culture. I love the mountains. I love that there are a lot of free art galleries.
Yeah.
I love that you can go on beautiful scenic drives and things like that. When I say I like the outdoors and things like that, I'm not talking about like backpacking and like super intense camping or anything like that. But I love being able to look at the mountains when I'm driving.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's a vibe.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. So Reg, let's go ahead and get this thing started too. When it comes to your drive, I want to say, because my mind was going so many ways. Like I'm like, do I say product? Do I say your events? But let's start from the tippy top, right? because for those that don't know, like you have a business prowess, particularly like when it comes to the wine industry. So you've branched off a lot, right? Started your own business, your own wine brand. There's a successful festival you've been doing for years. So take us back to sort of the origin story. You seem like somebody slipped wine in your baby bottle. That's how passionate you are about it.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's funny. I mean, so I actually, when I got to Charlottesville, like I'm what they would call an ambivert. So I'm an extrovert and an introvert. Like I like being around people, but I also like not being around people.
Yeah.
And so when I moved here, I knew I wanted to be a part of some community. So I wanted to get involved, but I was like, the only way I'm going to do that is if I make myself leave my house, and I need to find a way to consistently do that. So I found a free wine tasting at Market Street Wine downtown. It just happened to be free. It happened to be wine. They also had the first Fridays art gallery crawl and stuff. So I would go to that, but that was only one Friday a month, whereas this free wine tasting was every Friday. So that was kind of my go-to. I just knew that I was going to go. I didn't even care about wine. I didn't know anything about wine. Didn't even think that I could know what they were saying. They would say stuff to me and I'm like, yep, right, yep.
Not in agreement.
Exactly. And I'm like, all right. But then one Friday I remembered something. Like I tasted something that reminded me of something a couple of weeks earlier. I said it out loud. I surprised myself by saying it. I was like, crap, I didn't even mean to say that out loud. And then the dude was like, yeah, actually that grape is called something else in this other city you had it from, but this is the same grape. And that's crazy. And so from there, I just started coming back the day after the tasting to ask more questions. And I just got deeper and deeper into wine. Eventually decided I wanted to study it through a program called Wine Unify in 2020. And it was created to get more folks of color into wine, whether it was to like kind of understand it more or work in it. And so I didn't necessarily know what I wanted to do with it. I just knew I wanted to understand it more. Got pretty connected to a really dope community of folks very quickly. And yeah, the rest just kind of spiraled from there. Like, yeah. started collaborating with Market Street Wine in the pandemic for a virtual series, and then started working in the vineyards as well, which was a wild thing. Like my boy Lance, who I make wine with, shout out to Lance Lemon. That's my guy.
Really?
Yeah. So Lance and I make wine together.
Different Lance Lemon.
Different Lance.
Y'all know another Lance Lemon?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes. And I've joked with people about this a lot.
That's
because
crazy.
Originally I went to Richmond to, to Lance's Cafe, thinking that it was the dancer Lance.
Oh, that's wild.
The choreographer.
Right.
There's a choreographer, Lance Lemon. So
that's cool. That's a small world.
Yeah.
I love it.
Name of the wine brand?
Yeah, we call it the Parallax Project. Our white wine is called the What's This. Our red wine is called the What's That. And so super easy to say. Wine is just one of those things where it feels like you have to know so much to get into it. We wanted to break some of those barriers down by naming our wines that. And then we're both also into hip hop. So we actually named it after a Currency lyric where he said, I pulled up in a What's This, came back in a What's That. And so that's actually what it's named after. Yeah. And so for folks that aren't into hip hop, they're like, oh, like, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And I'm like, that was a song too. It's not named after that one.
That works.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I'm not a big wine drinker. We'll drink it, but it also feels like to drink it, you got to know a lot about it, right? And I'm not really picking up on all those different flavor notes when I drink it. But it's cool I'm just going to say, like, it's cool to see someone who looks like me.
Yeah.
Do this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, for us, that's like a big part of the story too. And with this thing that I co-founded with my friend Tracy called Enoverse, and Tiffany Nguyen, who owns Ethos Wine and Tea on West Main, like the three of us do Enoverse stuff together. But Eno is like the Latin word for wine. And so if you think about like this kind of multiple universes of wine that could all exist, we want to create a version that feels normal for us and for folks that look like us and for folks that haven't felt welcomed in wine for whatever reason. And so effectively, like when we think about Black folks and fermentation and preserving food and preserving vegetables and fruit and all that kind of stuff, and fruit wine and moonshine and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's a heritage and a history that we have culturally, but the wine thing has kind of made it feel like esoteric. It just feels like it's this fancy, super intense thing when it doesn't have to be. Like, people always had fruit that they crushed and made into some kind of wine.
Right. Okay. And so you're pretty steeped in the production process?
Yeah. It's pretty crazy.
Okay.
It's crazy. I mean, Lance and we go out and help pick our grapes. I mean, I say we help because the guys who work in the vineyard, I mean, they are so much faster than us that they're looking at us like, I mean,
you're in the way.
They're like, it's cute that y'all want to be here. Let us actually work. But we do go out and help pick the grapes and haul them back to the winery, and we run the press, and Lance runs the forklift and everything because he's OSHA certified and all that. So shout out to him for that. We make the wine. And so we basically do the major movements of the wine when anything big has to happen, if it needs to be transferred in a barrel or something like that. But there are folks that work at the facility that we rent who work on our wine on a day-to-day basis. So shout out to the team at Commonwealth Crush for keeping our wine babies alive.
Man, and then what's the main website? Because I'm going to share it here with the people. Is there do you have like a link tree or something that takes people to all this?
I mean, we have it. Yeah, it's separate, but we have parallaxprojectva.com. We actually just launched it on Monday, so I'm glad that I did that because I did not know you were going to ask.
Hey, look at it, right on
worked
time.
Out, and you can
spell that for me though.
Yeah, PARALLAX.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, Parallax Project VA.
Just like it sounds.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And that's .com?
Yes, sir.
All right, put it in there for the people.
Appreciate
that. Man,
yeah.
So, talk about that space, though, man, because, I know that you're very associated and connected with different community groups here in town.
Yeah.
Like, you rocking the Black Seville hat.
Sir.
Discover Black Seville. I know one of your colleagues is Matt Harmon.
Yes, sir.
A lot of people are familiar with Harmony Wines and stuff.
Sir.
So, talk about, because Max kind of alluded to it, but that Black wine space.
Yeah.
Right, which it seemed to kind of be more and more prevalent.
Yes.
And I even think about sort of the wine and spirits industry in general.
Yeah.
More and more prevalent. One of the big stories a lot of people know about you know, is like the Uncle Nearest story, right? You know, black woman owned now, a descendant, you know, of a gentleman who worked for the
Jack Daniels,
for the Jack Daniels brand, and then, you know, like even locally, like people look at like what is it, like Crazy Shoe wine.
I don't know Crazy
like
Shoe.
Out of Richmond. You have Black Girl Magic out of California.
For sure.
My sister that's been on the show a bunch of times, Max, too. Saida Armstrong on Sweet Vines out there, you know. So
you got 5011 up in Northern Virginia. Why am I forgetting this one right outside of Petersburg? Revolution, I think is what the Resolution Winery, another black-owned winery, and then the Bivens family. They just bought a vineyard somewhere in Central Virginia, but like maybe closer to Orange or whatever. But like they're selling grapes, they're not making wine yet, and this is their first harvest. So yeah, a lot of black folks are getting into the game for sure.
Yeah. And then you see these stories too. You know, again, where it looks like that it's not always easy, and it seems to be, you know, sort of a microcosm of struggles that we run into a lot. Like when we're able to overcome hurdles, break through the glass ceilings, and like figure out industry on our own and benefit from it. You know, a lot of times it seems like that the rules change. You know, so just talk a little bit about, you know, like you being in that space. You know, especially in an area like this, to where, you know, like sort of like socio demographics aside, like this is just such a wine-rich area.
It is.
So it has to be competitive.
It is.
Right? Like so talk about that business journey a little bit.
I mean, it's a bit competitive if you compete kind of pound for pound. But if you look for asymmetries, if you look for these little cracks in the armor, these little gaps in the market and things like that, which people feel like aren't necessarily worth paying attention to, like for us, like a black audience, for instance, you know, like people have not designed wine for us with us in mind, unless it's sweet and inexpensive. And like, there are only a couple of wines that have been in our lexicon for a really long time culturally. And then you also have the, you got Dom, and then you got Cristal, and you got Luc Belaire. You have a few of these, and then Rosé as a category, these wines that you hear in hip hop all the time. And so there are always these like kind of couple of things that have always been designed for us. But it's a part of why we called our wine What's This and What's That, for instance, and we named it after Currency Lyric, because the amount of people who are like, oh, I love Currency, that's crazy that y'all named it after that. Like, we don't tell that story to everybody because people don't know who Currency is, or like don't listen to rap.
He's pretty underground.
He is. But it's like we're making stuff that resonates with people. It's like why Two Up Wine Down is a really cool festival that we're kind of putting on here in Charlottesville, because we have people that fly from around the country, from like Napa and New York and all these places that have lots of wine festivals, global wineries and all of that, to come to the lawn of the Jefferson School African American Heritage Center that we like activate with couches and a DJ. And they fly from around the country to experience wine culture in a way that they can't anywhere else, which is so wild. But it's like, this is what wine looks like when we design wine experiences. And so it feels like we just need more expressions of what the wine world could look like, which is why we call our thing the Enoverse, because it's like, here's one other universe of wine that wine can exist in. And so we just try to do a bunch of collaborations and events and kind of showcase wine in different ways so that people can find their footing in it. You know, but also like, really, wine is about community, and it's about connection too. And it's about creating spaces of joy and celebration and freedom, like places where we can just feel fully normal.
Like this is something that should be enjoyable by everyone.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, you can feel the culture that's in it.
For sure. Sure. I mean, it's interesting that you say that, because I actually got invited to Napa to give a talk about that thing, which is crazy that I just said I got invited to Napa. I got flued out to Napa. I was like,
talk your talk, right?
It was crazy.
Talk about black people. Yes. And what we do.
I mean, and how you design experiences in an intentional way. And so it's like, if you receive an invitation in the mail, it's on white cardstock and it has gold cursive lettering, you're going to expect it to be a wedding. Like there're just certain design cues that you make where you know what this is, you know who this was made for, and all of that. And so our typography is very graffiti-esque. You know, like the DJ is going to be playing hip hop and R&B and stuff like that. And, you know, our food choices are definitely like, we don't have pate and a lot of the things that you would expect to see at a wine tasting and stuff like that, you know, and those are intentional design choices where we're like, anyone who wants to be in this environment should feel comfortable being here. And we also know who's going to feel comfortable in this environment. And it's going to be primarily like Black folks, people of color, people that were adjacent to all of these cultural cues, regardless of what your background is, and people who feel comfortable like being around that kind of thing. And that's the kind of world that we should all aspire to. Like, I mean, how many spaces do we all go in that weren't designed for us that like we need to either be uncomfortable and know that we have to show up, or we figure out a way to like be ourselves there. And like, that's one of the dopest things about Two Up Wine Down is that like, you have folks from multiple generations, like from all types of ethnic backgrounds and socioeconomic backgrounds, swag surfing together. That's right. Like at the Jefferson School. Like, I mean, and it's so dope. And that's really what we want, is to show how wine can bring together community, but also how many people, like whether they're Black or not, are interested in something else. You know?
Right. Yeah, yes, you really just gave a business 101 lesson there, because we're talking about wine. But I think that oftentimes people of color have a bright idea, have a business idea, but they think about the market and the oversaturation, or who's already do it, who's the heavy contenders, and the reasons why they can't. Not realizing that you bring something so unique that there is a space for you. You just gotta, fill it, not create it. Fill it.
Absolutely.
And it's part of why, in my humble opinion, is what it is and does what it does. There's plenty of talk shows in Charlottesville, right?
Sure.
A lot of ones that there are a lot of people who may prefer it over ours. However, the fact that we are Black folk who can talk about Black issues in an authentic way that we can, no one else can do that, right? So
talk your talk, Ms. Matt.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, and it's also one of those things of sort of taking back our spaces too.
Yeah.
And again, like when I say "our," that's that's sort of particular to Black people because of the society that we're in. Like, but that counts like just for us as a people, because whether you look at it from how just things get monopolized in different ways, right? And sort of take the soul out of it. And one thing that I see you all doing is, regardless of your race, religion, or creed, it's like people are coming together and you're having a great time, and it feels authentic. It's not like kind of what I think you were alluding to. It's not snobby,
right?
It's not like pinky up, drink. You know what I mean? So that's a beautiful thing.
If that's you and you want to do that, you can do that there too.
I mean, I don't mind every time to time.
Absolutely.
But man, so where can people find the wine though?
Ethos Wine and Tea for sure. They have some, so always shout out Ethos. Commonwealth Crush, where we make the wine down in Waynesboro over the mountain. You can definitely buy it there right now. You'll be able to pick it up soon at Greenwood Grocery and Market Street Wine as well. And any business owners that are listening, if you want to carry our wine, y'all can be who I'm shouting out next.
And now, and Two Up Wine Down. So what year is this?
This is year 4.
Year 4. Right, congratulations.
Appreciate it.
And then as far as folks who maybe still want to, I don't know, maybe vend or sponsor and get tickets, like how do they go about?
We definitely still have tickets left. For food, we're all kind of full effectively. We definitely still open to sponsors. Always use that, but tickets are at twoupwinedown.com. And so we have a website for the festival and everything. You can see what the vibes are. There's also and it's on November 15th, the pre-night. So November 14th, that Friday, we're having a party with my boy Dap and my friend Randy. She's coming up from Atlanta. Dap is coming down from the DMV. He's co-owned a wine bar for a long time, and he used to head DEI for Total Wine for globally, or nationally, I should say. It's a national brand. And they're basically doing a wine and hip hop kind of pairing event at Ethos. And then we're going to have an after party at Ethos on the evening of Two Up Wine Down, so we can keep the vibes going. So folks can definitely buy their tickets. We always sell out. We definitely have some tickets left, but we always sell out.
That's right.
Don't sleep.
People, for the people in the back.
Yes. People texting me like the weekend leading up. They're like, you got any tickets left? And I'm like, I've had them for 3 months.
Yeah.
Why am I just now hearing it from you?
You know how we do, Reggie.
I know. And that's why I'm saying it on the radio.
Yeah.
Just know that everybody all gonna be there.
That's right. That's
funny.
So and as far as the tickets, so is it like one festival ticket to get you in those other events, or is it different?
No,
tickets?
That's a good question. Yeah, so it's different tickets. You don't need a ticket for the after party. I might have lied. Go to the website. I don't remember. Tiffany, don't punch me.
Reggie said, "I'm the owner, not the marketing."
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, that's what the website is there for.
Right.
But you definitely need a ticket for the festival and the Friday night situation. One of the reasons why we do that is that we partner with other brands and other kind of things, and we don't take any cuts or anything from their thing. We let them run their tickets. We let them make whatever revenue they can, and we're trying to use what we're doing as a platform to highlight a lot of other businesses and things like that. So that's why you need multiple tickets. Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, we are right up against the hour, man.
Excellent.
It's always a pleasure. And I did want to give you a chance if there were anything else you want to shout out. I know you probably in full festival mode, but I know that there's other types of events that pop up throughout the year that you are associated with. Is there anything in particular that you're looking forward to that's coming up? And I guess folks can always find that on your on the 2 Up 1 Down website. That's sort of the main.
I would say to follow Eniverse.
I'm sorry, Eniverse.
Yeah, no. The 2 Up Wind Up. Like I've named like 6 websites, Charles. So that's why I'm like, just follow Eniverse. It's OENOVERSE. And so if you follow that on IG, that's kind of a good convening nexus of all these things. I definitely want to shout out 2 things. Our Eniverse Club event that's happening in early December with Carlita and with Shayla. And so they're basically coming down to curate some wines at Blenheim. It's ticketed, so you don't have to be in the club, even though it's a club event. So club members can come for free. Folks that want to buy a ticket can. So that'll be a vibe. And then I definitely just generally want to shout out Tasha Durrett from Black Women Who Wine. She just curates really dope experiences for Black women who are visiting different wineries around the mostly state, but they've also done some stuff in California as well. So those are my shout outs.
Good stuff. Beautiful. Man, Reggie, keep up the great work.
Appreciate you.
Good
Y'all
job.
do the same.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. And this is a platform. Feel free to send us anything or let us know when you want to come back on and share what you got going on.
That sounds incredible. Thanks for inviting me.
I think that's it. I did wonder what's in that bottle, that water bottle there. Is there water in that, or is there wine in that?
It's water. You got to hydrate.
Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you all. Thank you.